Okay, so we're going to look at compound interest, but specifically the present value. Okay, and what they mean by the present value is you're essentially going to find the principal in this formula. So they've given us some information, $8,700, and this is actually referring to the amount we'll have in the future. And the future amount is our amount at the end, A. And sometimes they replace that with FV is equal to like PV. Sometimes they use those as the variables, but we're using A and P, and they stand for the same things. At 12%, so that's going to be our interest rate. Now, I is technically a small formula. I stands for R divided by C is actually equal to I, and that's your interest rate divided by your compound period. And our compound period in this case is monthly. So that means C will be 12 in this case. Okay. Our interest rate we have, it's at 12%, so our R is 0.12. Okay, so that's our R value, that's our C value. That'll help us figure out I. And then our N is again a very small formula. And let's scroll down here. N technically stands for your compound period, which again we already have is 12 times the amount of years. Now in this case, our amount of years is a year and 7 months. So this is exactly how you would break this into years. What you're going to do is you're going to turn that into a decimal. So our years will equal 1, and then we'll figure out what 7 divided by 12 is as a decimal. So 7 divided 12 is 0.583 roughly. So 1.583. So that's going to be our years. Okay. So we have all the information we need, and again, this will be our. Let's use a different color, purple. This is our A value. So let's plug everything in. That's 8,700 replaces our A. Okay. Is equal to P is what we're trying to figure out. 1 we have. I we need to figure out 2. So we're going to take our I values, which are 0. So we'll do I over here. 0.12 divided by 12. Let's get a little calculator out. 0.12 divide 12, 0.01. Okay, so in other words, our I is equal to 0.01. So we're going to place I with that, so plus 0.01. And our N value, we have to take the years and multiply it by our 12 here. So let's use, I guess, another color. Here you go. So 1.583, I guess you can't really see that, times 12 equals, we'll put it in our calculator, 1.583 times 12 gives us 18.996. You could probably estimate at 19, but we're going to try to be as exact as possible. So 18.996. Okay, so that's 18.996. So we're going to plug that in the formula. Our N here is 18. I want a color I can see better. 18.996. Okay, so from here we have our exponent, and we are going to simplify what's inside the bracket. So we have 8,700 is equal to P, 1 plus 0, 1 to the power of 18.996, which is a number we can put out on our calculator here. Okay, so 1.01 to the power of 18.996. And we'll round this to about 1.2 to make it easier when we go to bring it over. So we have 8,700 is equal to P times, what did we say that number was? Here it is. 1.2. Okay, so 1.2. And again, the goal is to just get P by itself. So P represents our present value.
How do you do that?
So when we bring it over, I'll show you after. We're going to divide by 1.2. So we get 8,700 divided by 1.2 is equal to P, which represents the present value that we put in now. So our present value is 8,700 divided by 1.2. Okay. 7,250. So according to this, 7,250, in order to have obtained $8,700 1 year and 7 months from now, we'd have to put $7,250, so the amount we got, into a bank account that earns 12% over the course of 1 year and 7 months to earn $8,700.